what would you say to them if they said, "What's going wrong? What's really going wrong here?"
Um, I don't know. I think for us, I think the important thing is to just focus on what we can control at this point, right? And we still have a chance next week, and we just got to do everything we can to just pour into that game so that we can have the outcome that we're looking for.
First drive couldn't have gone better. You get in the end zone. You're unable to keep that same energy, or just execution, or what was the difference?
If I had to, it's tough to like pinpoint it,
Yeah.
but I would imagine that it's a mixture of everything, right? Like execution, communication. We got to strain a little bit harder. That seems to kind of be the theme over the last however many weeks, and I think once we're able to get over that hurdle, I think we're going to like the results that we can have. But it's just like we're in our own way, and we just have to just compete a little bit harder just to go ahead and get over that hill.
You've been fortunate. You got some help today. Every week is, we're still in it.
Yeah.
This is literally the last chance. Will that urgency just ramp things up even more for you guys as a team?
Man, it has to, right? Like we don't, to your point, we don't have any other opportunities. We got to go now, and we have to work with that intent and enthusiasm throughout the week. And then when it just comes to the game, we have to execute throughout the entire game. Both teams are going to be playing, for their season, and honestly, like that, those are the games that are the most exciting, right? Like, it's playoff football, and it's an honor, it's a privilege to even play meaningful football in December and January. So I know I'm grateful for it, and I'm excited about this chance.
You had a long fashion run towards the end of the game that set up that last scoring drive
Yeah.
that you guys were able to get an onside kick.
Mhm.
Or 10 points, sorry. Just take us through that play and what you saw there and how you were able to execute that.
It wasn't like a complicated play, just like a little sit route. I was just able to just make something like happen after the catch. I'm grateful that we were able to score, and I mean that was a hell of an onside kick by Chase. It was just they were able to make a play on it, right? Like I don't know if you can ask for anything more in terms of the execution of that kick, aside from like recovering it. But we put ourselves in these situations, and sometimes it's tough to pull yourself out of it. But we have opportunity next week, and we got to take advantage of.
Do you expect any kind of change in the routine next week? Like, some teams have like players only meetings or do different things together just to try to rally.
I mean, I don't know if there's nothing like that going on. You know what I mean? I don't even necessarily know if a change of routine is something that we need. Like we have to execute better, all across the board. We have to be accountable for our actions and go ahead and just put a better product on the field.
Chris, who spoke up in the locker room after this game and was sending that message to you guys?
I mean, a couple of different guys do, but like Levante always speaks up. Like, he like him, Mike, Big, like those are our captains, right? And those are the guys that typically end up like saying something. But the sentiment is echoed across the locker room. Like we understand where we are, and again, we just have to be better.
Appreciate it.
I don't want to give you guys the same old crap that you say after every that seems like it's repeating itself week after week. But the sad truth is it is the same things week after week. It's just got to worry about ourselves. Got to execute in those little moments. That make or break games. And I thought we were close in areas, but had some. I don't know. We gotta execute. We gotta come together this week. It's got to be an upbeat week. We got there's got to be energy. There's got to be the intention to detail and the intent to practice well and go out and get a win Sunday. Because at the end of the day, you go win Sunday. That's all that matters. We're in the playoffs. Whether we went 14-0 or whatever, 16, 17-0 or lost 5 in a row and then won the last week. Like it's we're in the playoffs either way. So we got to go win next week. That's all that matters, and that should just be the mindset. Focus on us. Go get a win.
Is it kind of? I mean, it's all frustrating, right? But when you have the first drive for a touchdown, and then that's pretty much it for the rest of the day, that's got to be tough, right?
Yeah.
The execution was there. The intent was there.
Yeah, 100%. I think you come out, you execute what you want to execute. Baker hits a couple shots, gets some completions, get a couple runs off, and ultimately score. And that's what you want. And to not keep that momentum going is disappointing. And that falls on us as a team. And to be able to come out and understand that, hey, we can go score again and again, and not just get one and then kind of let off the gas. We got to keep punching those in. So that was definitely disappointing.
Carolina has everything to play for, obviously. But Miami did, right? And so was that the mistake that they're out there just competing? They're NFL players, but
Yeah, there is this like big notion that teams kind of like, give up when they're out of the playoffs, but like that's not like I don't find that to be true. Like same thing last year, like Dallas in 2024, like our only loss over the bye was Dallas, and they found out they were eliminated here in the playoffs right before the game, and there was no change in pace. These guys have families, like like they're trying to provide for, like they're not going to go out there and quit and get fired, So it's like they're playing just like any other NFL game, and so I don't like to look at it that way, but at the end of the day, like it doesn't matter who we're playing, like nameless faceless opponent. We've had the same kind of result the last few weeks, like so we got to figure out us and focus on us, and I think we take care of us, we'll be fine.
7 out of 8 you guys have lost, and yet somehow you guys should have a chance to change things and correct things. What does that mean, that you still have a chance to right things in this last game?
I think it means that we need to pour everything into this week, and that everybody on this team needs to approach this week different than we did last. And we all need to look ourselves in the mirror, and we need to just evaluate ourselves and understand that we need to hold ourselves accountable as teammates on the field.
you had a good connection today with Baker. What was going right for you two? You guys were in sync.
We just followed the game plan. I knew what I was going to run. I knew the leverage I was getting, and I was able to work off that.
In terms of the accountability and looking at yourself in the mirror, you guys have said this a couple times now, unfortunately. What does Coach Bowles tell you guys in the locker room that might make this different this week?
To lead one another. I think he harps on it every week, but I think we just need to continue to do it. And obviously, it's not going to be perfect right away, but I think if we just start in those building blocks, I think that will be good.
What was said in the locker room from players after this game with one another?
Right now we're just soaking it in. There's no finger pointing in this locker room. There's no he said, she said, nothing about that. I think we all know what's at stake next week, and we all need to stay focused.
Jalen, thank you.